First up, he is a 2020 Democratic presidential candidate and author of The War on Normal People, The Truth About America's Disappearing Jobs and Why Universal Basic Income is Our Future. That's all the time we have, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Andrew Yang, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew. Thank you. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Andrew. I haven't read your book, but I read the title. I think I get it all now. No. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked many of the contenders who've been on our show, 23 of them. I'm going to run. It'll be 23 and me. But
You have some votes.
23 people are running. Why you?
I'm running for president because I'm focused on solving the problem that got Donald Trump elected in the first place in 2016. He's our president because we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all the swing states that he needed to win. And my friends in technology know we're about to do the same thing to millions of retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs, truck driving jobs, and on and on. We have to wake America up to the fact that it is not immigrants that are causing these problems. It's not immigrants, am I right? It's technology and advancing economy.
You don't have to work that hard to get them to applaud.
And so we need to solve these problems for the American people, and that's how we beat Trump in 2020. That's how we move the country forward.
Yeah, you got your lane. You got an issue that I think nobody else has, which is they're coming for your jobs. And what jobs are we talking about? I know you talk about in your book jobs that involve a routine, right? Something that is repetitive. Those are the jobs that can be replaced by machines and automation and artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What areas are we talking about?
44% of American jobs fall into either repetitive manual work or repetitive cognitive work. So we're talking about retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs.
Retail?
Well, retail, 30% of American malls are closing in the next 4 years because Amazon's sucking up $20 billion in commerce every year.
Oh.
And you don't think of that as an automation thing because the robot's not coming in and doing the
That's fine. I still think of retailers go to the mall, and how could a machine, if I asked, do I look cute in this? You know. Does this make me look fat? No, but people don't care about that anymore. They buy everything online. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go to the Amazon fulfillment center, it's wall-to-wall robots. So that's why retail is also being automated away.
Okay, so that's part of your plan. Then the thing that's in your book, UBI, which sounds like a bowel disease. I
didn't name it.
I know, but every time I hear UBI, I think, ugh.
Well, it's one reason why we've rebranded it the Freedom Dividend.
Okay.
And it's a plan where everyone gets $1,000 a month.
Everybody gets it. Everybody. Rich, poor?
Yes, you too. You need it, I know.
I got my eye on these Tom Ford cufflinks. Because I saw they were 12 grand. It was too rich for my blood, but if I get that bonus, I'm gonna go. No, okay, so everybody and I understand that. How much would that cost in total for a year in this country?
Well, the headline cost gets a lot lower than people think because a lot of this money is just going to go back right into the economy. It's the trickle-up economy.
Right. It's going poor people spend it.
Yes. If I gave you $1,000 a month, you might not even notice. But if you put $1,000 a month in the average American consumer's hands, it's going to get spent right in their Main Street businesses. It's going to create 2 million new jobs because that money is just going to go to tutoring and car repairs and the occasional night out. It's going to circulate.
Okay, but how much right off the bat do we have to spend to do this?
So the headline cost is around $1.5 trillion.
That's a lot. A year?
A year.
Wow. Yeah, that's real money. But we just gave away $1 trillion in a tax cut to people who will never see it.
Yes.
And defense, you could take $1 trillion out. They wouldn't notice it either.
Well, the way we get the money is if you look around, how much did Amazon pay in federal taxes last year?
None.
Zero. So think about a $1 trillion tech company
Amazon,
paying
those
zero
fuckers,
in taxes.
Them.
That's right. So that's right.
They must be making it hand over fist.
So we have to create a mechanism where the American public actually benefits from artificial intelligence and all these new automations.
Right.
So if we had even a mild value-added tax and gave the American public a tiny slice of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Facebook ad, every robot truck mile, it would generate over $800 billion in new revenue, which would be enough to pay for the vast majority of this dividend of $1,000.
Okay, but to me, this is only part of the problem. You're saying people are going to be thrown out of work.
Yep.
You call it a tsunami of unemployment. I think you're right, because of automation, robots, and so forth. So now we're making sure they don't starve. We give them money. But what do they do all day? It's not just money. People have to have a purpose in life. You have to have a reason to get up in the morning. I had no idea that was such a controversial point.
Well,
people need a reason to get up. Yes, Bill, finally someone has said it. Yeah.
Well, I'm Asian, so you know I like to work.
Yeah.
But you're
They're
right
oohing
that,
you, and you did it on yourself. That's very politically correct.
Americans need structure, purpose, fulfillment, all the things that jobs provide. But the biggest misconception about the freedom dividend is that it's somehow going to reduce work. It's actually going to create 2 million new jobs. It's going to recognize the kind of work that my wife does. Yeah, because of the economic growth in the economy, just having more buying power.
Okay, so what jobs are we getting now that we're...
No, so those jobs happily will keep some of the Main Street stores open that would otherwise close, but it would also start to recognize the kind of work that my wife does. My wife's at home with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic, and right now the market values her work at 0. It values all caregiving at essentially 0. And so by having this dividend in place, not only do we create new jobs, we also start recognizing and rewarding the work that's already going on in our families and communities. We can actually expand what we think of as work.
Okay. So, one thing I like about when I listen to you is that you are asking a question I've asked many, many times on this show, which is why in so much of this country is a D next to a politician's name so toxic? So toxic that no matter who they're running against. I mean, Roy Moore squeaked a victory out. A child molester, that much he lost by. Why is the D so toxic? And you talk about this too.
I've been shocked, Bill, when I go around the country, how working class Americans feel like the Democratic Party does not care about people like them, is not talking to them.
Right.
And when I was growing up, the Democratic Party was the party of the working class, the little guy or gal. We need to get back to that. I can't tell you how much credit Donald Trump got just for calling out the pain that many of these communities are in. And so if the Democratic Party stops condescending and says, look, we're here to actually work on solving your problems, we can go very, very far with many of the people who voted for Donald Trump.
Is this because of identity politics?
Well, so I'm the son of immigrants. I understand the impulse behind identity politics, but Democrats have to know that identity politics is a very poor way to approach winning national elections, and it's a very poor way to bring our country together. We have to enact solutions that will help all Americans. And when Martin Luther King championed a guaranteed minimum income in the 60s, which is almost exactly like my freedom dividend, he didn't do it for any subset of Americans. He did it for all Americans. And that's, again, how we move the country forward.
Thank you. Good luck with your campaign. I'm glad you're in it. You're doing good. All right. Andrew Yang.